guys, do we need to have a do we need to have a thumbnail discussion?
You can take a look at the thumbnail.
It's just the same thing. It's nothing. All right. I don't think we're cueing the cat, man. I think we're just gonna dive right into this conversation. Let me bring us up.
Oh, no cat
over here.
Oh,
no cat.
I wasn't prepared for that.
And there we are. All right. What's going on, everybody? This is a post 2020 PSVR award show wrap up. I'm Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR without parole, and to my right, as always, the boys, Dave from Dave Station VVVR.
Ooh, okay. Wow, you make it different every time. I can't wait to see how you're going to say it. That's like my favorite part of the show.
And it's over. Oh, man. Your favorite part of the show is over. It's just downhill from here. And that guy, of course, on the far right-hand side of the screen is AJ from the Underground PSVR Underground.
Bravo, Brian. What a great show, man. Great job. Thank you so much, Brian, for putting all that together. Thank you, all the developers. Congratulations to all the winners, to all the even just the nominees. It was such a competitive year. It was absolutely incredible to watch, man. And just thank you to everybody involved. Thank you for Sony for letting us get away with some of that stuff. That was very, very nice of them.
Yeah. Tiffany in the chat says, "Did you guys just record your intros today? You look the same as you did on the show."
That's how we always look.
Tiffany, this year, time is an illusion. I just want you to know that. It's all one unending stream of something or other. So, yeah.
LWM McQuaid, the cunning cat, says, "Oh, Dave, I didn't see you there. You must have been recording your demo tape."
Classic
I was.
Dave
Yeah, I was.
That's awesome.
That is a classic, yeah.
Yeah, guys, this was ridiculous. You know, like things were coming in to Tiffany's point. Not only were videos coming into the last minute, like presentation speeches were coming into the last minute reveals. You know, and of course here I am sitting behind the scenes trying to get everything together and editing everything, and then I was like, oh wait, I also have to make a presentation speech. And it was basically one of those things where I was like, I could set up my camera and I could do all this stuff and make it look super duper professional, or I could get it done now. And so there were a lot of those decisions that were made, I think, during the show. And man, but it was just so phenomenal to see like the whole community come together, and like everyone from developers to YouTubers to you know, just everybody, man, like other VR channels. We all kind of came together, and this was such a cool event. So thank you to everybody.
To say, my favorite bit of editing was on the Polish Paul section. That was like my favorite. As soon as you had the skip ad and the click 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 sound, the chat like erupted in laughter. It was great. They're like my favorite part of the whole show, I think.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, you know, it's funny because I actually did write all the speeches for everybody except for you guys, because I was like, oh, you guys are like, you know, you're part of the channel.
Yeah.
And
I was curious.
I'll just, you know, you guys, I trust you guys to do whatever. But for everyone else, I was like, well, thank you for participating. The last thing I want to do is create more work for anybody, you know? So, you know, I asked these people to participate. They said yes. And I said, fantastic. Don't worry. I'm going to make it super easy. Here's a script. And then, of course, Polish Paul is like, decides to like make fun of me. And I was like, and I was sitting there editing.
Of course he did.
And he just rambles on and on. I was like, this is how he makes 10-minute videos about nothing. And so it all kind of came to me. I was like, let's try to skip this ad, man. It was, I had a lot of fun with that one. It was fun. Polish Paul and I love each other, man. It's like so many people think that there's like some view that we don't like each other or whatever. Not the case at all.
Oh, it's just friends giving each other shit. Like we've known him forever, and like, you know, he does put a zillion ads in his videos, but you know, we can just poke him about it. It's okay.
Absolutely. But before we even got to Polish Paul, we had a reveal, and it was Captain Toonhead versus the Punks from Outer Space. And we've seen a trailer for that before, but the guys over at TerraVision Games were really, really super nice to like create an entirely new trailer and explain how the game works. Because I told them, I was like, you know, they were like, what do you want us to do? And I said, I like the look of your game, but I have no idea how it plays. So maybe if you explain to us how it's played, that could be cool. But it was really long. The video was like 2.5 minutes. So if you go over to the Without Parole channel, the full video is there. All the stuff that didn't quite make it into the award show. So make sure you check that out. Captain Tuna looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I really liked the guy presenting it. As soon as he got on there, I was like, his sense of humor. I like this team. There's something going on there where like I'm interested in that game just because of his personality, honestly.
For sure.
That game looks really, really fun. We've played a little bit of like a tower defense style, something like it, which was like that I think it was called Spuds Unearthed. But this
that game
one
was unplayable and broken when it launched.
Yeah, right. But it was still like the concept of it and stuff was still like I could see the potential, and this game looks like it really has a chance to really fill in the rest of that potential. And yeah, I mean, it had like dinosaurs running around. It had these little cute little orange cubes with faces on them that looked adorable. Right. I want like 20 pillows of those.
Those are your lives. Yeah.
Yeah. It looked really, really cool. I can't wait to check that one out. It looks very fun and exciting.
Guys, real quick, I see some tips in the chat here. Texatron, the indoor cat, with a $20 donation. Thank you so much, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He says, we appreciate your
Tex?
hard work, Brian. Amazing job. Dude, I appreciate everyone coming out and watching this. It was so nice to see like everybody in the chat. And trust me, when I say that I was in the chat the whole time, I couldn't be responding because I was trying to type up a run a show so that we had something to work with for this. And then on top of that, I was making sure that I was publishing videos on the channel as reveals were happening, and I couldn't get caught up with the chat, but it was there on my phone and I was reading it constantly. So anyone who tipped during the show, I fucking love you so much. I wasn't able to respond, but I was there and I acknowledge it, and thank you so much. We also want to give a shout out, of course, to Craig Ray, guts to be a GameCat official. That's going to be a hashtag GameCat shout out on next week's Viewer Takeover. With the 10 quid donation saying, massive thanks for a great show. Big F you for the jump scare. Huge thanks for the time it aired, and guess now I'm a GameCat. That's awesome, dude. Thank you so much.
We'll get to that.
My second favorite. Get anyone else?
My second favorite bit of editing was the jump scare.
Yeah,
that was brilliant.
I was thinking, I was like, I should really lower the volume on that, but I was like, I don't want to lessen the impact of what they were going.
The chat was like R.I.P. Headphone wearers or something like that.
For sure. So we had Captain Toonhead, and then we had Polish Paul presenting, and of course, stiff competition for the best hidden gem, but budget cuts. I mean, I was sad that budget cuts didn't get any other nominees. So I was glad to see it was like the first game mentioned in the entire show. But of course, Crisis Brigade took it. It was
budget cuts, Final Assault, Crisis Brigade 2, Separation, and Hotel R&R. And man, if you go and look at all the categories, like looking at this run of show, I mean, this has just been an incredible year, man. These were all, any of these could have won, really, which is, I think, what makes this special about all of them being nominated.
I mean, a lot of the categories I felt like were that way. Like when something didn't win, I was like, well, I get it, but damn, I wanted X and Y to win,
Right. Yeah, I mean, we don't want to talk about how we personally voted, right? Is that something we want to say?
I mean, we can. I think we can if we. I don't know.
Because here's the thing. Not everyone's going to agree with the awards that were won today. Like everybody has their favorite. If you look at all the pie charts and stuff that Straw Poll offers, you'll see that almost every single award was won with a pretty big majority. Like there was no close calls in this at all. There at no point was I like, I have to keep the polls open a little bit longer for this tiebreaker like we had to do last year.
Well, you mentioned Iron Man was like a landslide victory, like major victory, which we'll talk about later. But it
was funny to see. I mean, every day there was a new. It maybe like the end result wasn't close, but they were swapping every single day. Budget cuts was in front one day. Final Assault was ahead one day. They were all just swapping through, and I think that shows you just like how many people really, that makes me feel good about nominating these. We helped pick the nominees for this, and seeing that constant change was definitely encouraging. But of course, Crisis Brigade 2 won. And that has just been a fantastic game. Man, such a good. I mean, we all talk about how I got into VR for like the rail shooters and stuff, and this is the closest thing to like a Time Crisis style game that we've had. And
before it came out, we were always talking about when do we get our Time Crisis? When do we get our House of the Dead?
Right.
Like that was a constant conversation topic. Like when do these games come? And then finally somebody did it. So.
Yeah, and
big shout out to Crisis Brigade.
I also want to be clear, if anyone was keeping tabs on the voting, because as AJ was saying, like it was shifting wildly every single day. That's because I'm one person over here behind the scenes, and I was sending out this information to different developers. Certain developers didn't even know they were nominated, right? For days. And so like I would finally get that information over to them, and be like, oh, here's the links to your straw polls, whatever. And so like they weren't able to get out that information to their followers, their fans, their social media until like halfway through the voting. And so, you know, a lot of lessons learned on my part, at least, about how to kind of like do this better next year. But at the same time, like I think that's like where a lot of the fluctuations were coming from. It was like, you know, Swordsman Vr fans didn't even know that it was nominated until like 2.5 days into the voting. You know, of course we'll get to sword fighting, but that's that we saw some crazy fluctuations in that one. And then of course Sumo Lab sent us an acceptance speech. It was really nice to see the whole team there, all wearing masks. It's you know, acceptance speeches are half of my favorite part of the show.
Oh, they're the best part. I think maybe not the best part, but they're great. And the fact that they were like, "Thanks for shouting out Mervils and stuff." No, sorry, wrong game.
It's all right. we'll talk about Vitruvius soon too.
Yeah, sir.
And then, of course, all of this was followed up with a kind of like, you know, a nice slow pitch over the plate, nice easy reveals. There were 4 games that are all now confirmed, 100% confirmed to be coming to PSVR in 2021, and that's Synth Riders, Powder, Suicide Guy VR, and the last one is Stride. I just did that from memory. I did a lot of editing.
Stride looked really exciting to me. I hadn't seen Stride before. I think the other ones I was aware of. Stride, I'm really intrigued by. It looks really cool.
Yeah,
I've heard
that was a really good reveal.
A lot of these games were definitely like, oh, we think it's coming to PSVR, or we heard from a source at some point, but now every single developer said, yes, you can go public with this. It's definitely coming to PSVR, and it's definitely coming next year. And I was like, that's great. You know, obviously we'd love a narrower release window, but we will take 2021 as, you know, before we're not even in 2021 yet. So we'll take that, you know, like this is something to look forward to eventually next year.
I didn't know that 2020 was allowed to end. I thought it was just going to keep going on forever.
2020 Part 2.
Oh, we're going to put an end to it.
Shout out to Mad Max, the Mad Game Cat, with a $5 donation saying, "Witness, I want to present next year." that's great, man. I would love some Game Cat presenting.
It only costs $5. It only costs $5, guys.
I bought Cyberpunk as a collectible, not to play, and Dave looks like the leader of Foo Fighters. #GameCat Army. This isn't the first time we've seen.
Wish you could put up that bad tattoo of Dave Grohl that looks just like me.
Like you.
It's incredible. Somebody's like, "Why did somebody get a tattoo of Dave?" And it's like, no, it's not me, but it does look like me.
Also, shout out to Straka, the VR Feline, with the €11 donation saying, "Great award show. Looking sharp, guys." Thank you very much. I put on my blue tie for this, which I accidentally brought out for viewer takeover.
I'm the least dressed up. I feel bad. I should get my blazer or something.
You're doing just fine. I
feel like I need my blazer.
I think you should take it back a notch and bring the camera with you to bed, and we can all hang out with Dave in bed and snuggle.
We can if you want to. I have to clear it off a little bit, but
yeah, man. Obviously, as somebody that's been clamoring for like a snowboarding game in VR, I'm really excited about Powder and Stride. I was also a big fan of Mirror's Edge, and that just looks absolutely fantastic. Suicide Guy is an interesting story because it seems like very much like it's a funny concept where I think you're dreaming and you have to like kill yourself in your dreams to wake up, and like that's how you progress to the next level and stuff. And there's all these different levels. It's kind of like a sandbox environment to mess around with. And then of course Synth Riders, rhythm games are so much fun in VR. I've heard so many great things about this game, and really can't wait to get to try it out for myself. I know we've had something similar with Dance Collider, but this is one that I know, like, I've heard a lot of stuff about that's really promising.
And dude, Powder, we're finally getting a snowboarding, skiboarding game.
Thank you.
What's the? I think it's got wingsuit stuff in it too. So like, it is definitely the game that people have been asking for. That you made. You had to make a game in dreams because we weren't getting a proper VR snowboarding game.
It seems like
Steep was one of those games where I was like, Ubisoft, come on.
Yeah.
You've already got a game with all these cool, skiing, snow sports. Put it in VR. You've done it already. But this looks as close to that as you can possibly get. And that was a really good reveal trailer. I got more excited about the game.
Oh man, that is a dream game for me, for real. And I can't wait to check that out.
Shout out to Max. I had to change something. Max PSVR with the $5 donation. Dave always screws me up. He goes, "Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna tell you.
I've got it figured out at this point. Now you are the one who's got it confused.
Yeah, you got him backwards.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Max, I'm doing much better now that the award show is over. Now that we can kind of sit back and just kind of take it all in. This has been the most stressful month for me of all time, and especially this past week. It's just at a certain point this week, I was like, "There's no way this is getting done on time. Like literally, just no way." Even to the point where yesterday I was like, counting the hours I had left. I was like, I don't think this is actually possible at this point. So I'm doing much better now.
When I called you in the middle of the night, I was like,
4 a.m.
You have how many hours left? How many hours left?
Yeah.
It was 3:30, by the way, for posterity. But
Hibsy says Synth Riders, our local news scoop, says Synth Riders is getting a Muse pack. I saw that. I'm a huge fan of Muse, so I am very excited to see that, and hopefully we get that as well.
Since we're back on Synth Riders real quick, when I got in touch with them, their PR person got back in touch with me and said, "Oh, sorry, that person you contacted is no longer with us, but I'm putting you in touch with our new PR person, and that's Parole, who was my very first developer interview. He was the one who got me doing developer interviews. He worked on the Wizards Enhanced Edition, and so
he's been around forever. Yeah,
I know. So it's actually there was like some like nice reconnecting behind the scenes going on. I love that dude, and it was so nice to see him again or talk to him again and work with him again. We'll be real interested to see Synth Riders when it comes along. Alex, the Meh Game Cat with the $10 donation saying, "Finally changed my name. Feels good. Heart, cat, controller. Amazing work, Brian, and everyone else involved. Thank you for keeping the VR hype train moving. Pizza's on me. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to have some pizza tonight. I'm going to fall asleep with my face in it. It's funny. My brother actually has a picture of me with my face in lasagna back when I was drinking. I made a whole plate of lasagna, and I passed out in it. And instead of doing the right brother thing, okay, Greg, I'm talking to you right now, Greg.
He just took a picture of you. Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh my God, what if he chokes on cheese and dies in his sleep? He's like, I got to go get my digital camera and send this to everybody.
This is hilarious.
I think of worse ways to go.
Yeah.
So thanks, big brother. And thank you, Alex, of course.
And we've got another tip from Donatella, the Scientist Game Cat. $20 says, cheers. Here's to another great PSVR game year, 2021. Suburb show without Parole. This one's for the cul-de-sacs, boys.
Yeah, 2021 should be a very interesting year. We've got way more games to talk about that came out during this show. And then, of course, we never, you got to think of all the games that were supposed to come out this year. Humanity comes to mind as one example that, due to everything going on, got pushed back, got delayed. Teams had to scramble and reformat their whole restructure. So it'll be an interesting year to see what new announcements we get next year as well. But Q1, Q2 right now looking pretty stacked.
I see Gamer Chick in the chat asking who did the intro outro music. I love that. Honestly, I don't know who did the music, but I will tell you right now that Perp Games, as you guys know, you saw their logo a few times during the show. They worked with me on this. They basically. What happens is I love being transparent about this stuff, so you guys know where all the money's going. No money comes to me. I agree to have them, co-host the show, but what that means is that they pay for an animator to do all the CG work, and so all the trophy stuff and all the introduction stuff, that's all him. And then I chop it up and add PSVR footage and stuff to all of that. And so that music was part of that whole package.
So good.
And so that is when you saw the Perp advertisements, make sure you guys, I'm just gonna do a little promotion for them. Just head over to the Perp store. There was a code during the show, so go back during the show, use the code, get 20% off on the Perp store. These guys are like the saviors of PSVR physical media. If you collect physical games and you love PSVR, I mean, they have pretty much everything that they've put out over there, and you get 20% off.
If you don't want to wait 7 months for a limited run game, you probably ought to just buy a Perp game. Right. Because that's the one thing. I mean, really, those are the only two companies doing physical releases consistently for VR games. And as much as I love limited run, Perp is a little bit more
down to earth,
consistent. Yeah, that sort of thing.
And so thank you, Perp, and thank you, Marco, who did the animating. Why did I just pronounce that so strangely?
He does the animating.
Right, I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. But he did. Marco did an amazing job last year, and I was like, dude, get him again this year because I loved what he did last year, and we're gonna start way earlier next year because the more time we give him, the better he does, and I can't wait to see the next year's show.
It was very professional. I mean, everybody in the chat especially was saying oh my God, this is I'm blown away. I'm amazed. And I was too. I mean, I didn't not expect you to put on a great show, but you know, you did a really good job. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
The animations were fantastic. Thank you, Perp Games.
Delirium Drew with a $10 donation saying, Brian, thanks so much for an amazing show, and thanks to everyone that presented the awards, and thank you to all the devs that gave us these amazing games. Swipey swipe. Cheers to all the cats. Hey, Drew, I didn't do this in person or anything else, so I did want to say thank you so much for the personalized Coke. I can't believe it's not Dirt Coke, but you know, what are you going to do? I'll take what I can get. But personalized with my name, says Brian Paul without parole. Not sure if you guys can read that. Thank you very much, man. Merry Christmas to you.
All right, so next we had Rob Yescombe, the man, the myth, the legend, the Farpoint writer, and Invisible Hours writer that I secretly adore. Actually, I don't.
I love that fucking guy.
There's no secret here at
no
all.
secret.
Come on.
Man,
Right.
one of my. I mean, Farpoint is one of my favorite stories in PSVR, and it's again, I always give it so much praise because that's just video games. Although video games are these days getting much better about storytelling. They're almost becoming like movie quality stuff. But you know, VR is a new medium that people are still exploring in terms of storytelling, and it's very difficult. They're still figuring out a lot of things, and Farpoint is just fantastic in that front. But he had best PSVR narrative, and we had Iron Man, Star Wars Squadrons, Vader Immortal, Demo Reborn, and Bonfire.
Yes, dude. And can I say one thing? Rob Yescombe, or Yescombe, I pronounced his name wrong all the time. Rob Yescombe is not only is he an awesome dude, and he hung out with us for a full 3-hour GAMESCAST that time, which I was like, dude, that was way above and beyond. Like when I asked you to be on the show,
we kept telling him, you can leave, man.
Yeah.
You can leave. You can
Right?
get out of here anytime you want.
He's too nice of a guy to say, okay, see you later. He actually stuck with us the whole time. And so, but
we did have a good conversation too.
But he's a writer, and so I felt really dumb sending him a script, right? And so I felt so happy when he responded to me and said, hey, I hope you don't mind. I did my own take on this. And I was like, do I mind? This is like my dream come true. Like I want, and so
Yeah.
he wrote that script, and it was way better than anything I could have written for him. I was talking about, you know, shooting guys in the corridor. Dad goes, "You're just shooting guys in the corridor." He's like, "But Dad, is about why I'm shooting guys." And it's like I think we've all had that conversation with our parents at one point, and it just brought me right back. It was fantastic.
Yeah, he's one of those guys too, where like I feel like this is a stupid person admiring someone who they know is smarter than them, but he's so like he adds a little bit of kind of a philosophical vibe to anything he's talking about. Like you can tell this is an intelligent guy who knows what he's talking about.
What's he doing hanging out with us?
Things. Yeah, no, it's very odd. But Rob, big shout out. Thank you so much, man. Really, really liked that.
For sure. And before I don't want to let this tip get away from us. So shout out to Hugh Guyver with the Australian $10 donation. Says, great job, Brian and the gang. Here's an early Christmas present and to help pay for Polish Paul's guest appearance. God, fucking Polish Paul, man.
$1 million.
Thank you so much, Hugh Guyver. Say hi to Cousin Mac for us. $1 million.
So again, another category where I really liked all the storytelling in these. Squadrons has a nice kind of thing that it builds up to. Vader Immortal, I really enjoyed the story in there, the little short adventure. And I've always liked the spin-off Star Wars stuff. So that one was really cool. Demo Reborn is not one I'm super familiar with. Because I kind of played it for more like the music and the puzzles. But then Bonfire, of course, was excellent. I mean, it's only 20 minutes long. And
I think that's already won awards elsewhere. Like I'm pretty sure Bonfire
Right.
won some narrative storytelling awards at like a film festival or something like that. Like
it's always those little experiences that win awards, and you're like, where did they win this award from? This is stupid. And you're always like, and I just roll my eyes at all of them. But Bonfire is one that when I finally played it, I was like, oh my god, this deserves every accolade that it gets because it's just so unique. I love it, man. Good stuff.
Well, what I'd love to see too, like it doesn't happen now because of COVID, obviously, but film festivals had started having these VR experience like sections or categories where like, you know, you go to Sundance or Cannes or something like that.
Right.
And then you end up trying out, Tribeca, you end up trying out a VR experience, which I think is a really cool thing that shows the industry's interested in it. Whether or not it's like something you can get elsewhere or download or whatever, but it gets people excited, I think.
Two
we got
tips in the chat. Trey X Cooper with a $2 donation saying, thoughts on Oculus Quest 2? Trey,
good.
I mean, I don't want to break into a whole discussion about it. I've only got a Quest 1, but I do use it hooked up to my PC, and it's fun. But I think we can talk a lot more about Quest at another time, I guess. I don't think AJ...
Yeah, submit a viewer takeover question.
There you go. We'll talk about Quest on viewer takeover. Thank you for the donation, man. We love you very much. And GameCat Julia, I don't know if I pronounced that right, $30 donation. Jesus. It says,
wow.
Much love from Tennessee. I appreciate all the hard work you've done for us. The award show was really a gem, so worth the wait. Listen, if you're in Tennessee, swing by Murfreesboro, because I used to live in Murfreesboro on 805 North Spring Street. Go stand on the street, look up in the window right there, top floor, front and center. That used to be my room. You can go see where lots and lots of crazy shit went down.
I like how it's safe to say the addresses of places you used to live.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell you guys everywhere I used to live,
Can
but
you
I
imagine
won't tell you where I live
if the
now.
people that's living there now are watching this, they're like, what are you doing? Don't show up at our house. That's ridiculous.
This is Brian Paul's house. This is a pilgrimage.
So real. So thank you for the donation, man. We really, really appreciate you guys. This is going to take forever.
So of course the winner was Iron Man VR, which I was really happy about. Again, I liked all these, but I loved the story and the writing and the characters. There was such a unique take. You don't often get like a Tony Stark side story that was like canon, gives more lore, goes through more of the lore, and I loved the characters and the way it kind of had this message of Tony Stark's like inner struggles. With he's kind of fighting his demons, and he's got the angel and the demon on the shoulders, and he's trying to decide between which one's which. And I loved the storytelling in this game, and I thought Ghost was an amazing villain. Not one that I was like really familiar with, and they really, I thought, fleshed out that character really well, and I love that. The storytelling was fantastic.
Nick in the chat, by the way, fucking fantastic strong bad reference there, man. Unbelievable. If anybody else saw that, anyone else got that, then that's it. I will sacrifice talking about the story in Iron Man to say that. But yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think if anyone only played the first couple of hours of Iron Man, be like, all right, there's a lot of like standing around being like, oh man, I wish I could do more stuff. And then as the story progresses, I think it just like really grabs you. And by the end, I was totally riveted. That game gets better and better as it goes. And we had Brandon accepting the award for Camouflage. Thank you very much for that. Always nice to see the developers take a second and respond to the community. That was fantastic getting that from. And guys, if you don't know how this works, like Camouflage obviously made a game for Sony with a Marvel license. Do you know how many hoops you have to jump through to give an award speech?
They had to. Oh yeah, and they had to pitch that game so hard to get it made, even because like it's a pretty unproven studio.
Yeah.
Who just happened to get a meeting with Sony and say, hey, we have a good idea. And I think they probably came up with a little bit of resistance. Like, really? You guys are going to make an Iron Man game? Yeah. But they proved that they could. So I think, they did a good job.
Well, they put in a lot of extra work getting these speeches to us. They had to go, like I said, they had to get it approved by Sony. They had to get it approved by Marvel just to have an appearance on our show about the game. So thank you guys for putting in the extra work and going the extra mile for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's hard enough just to record like a speech and stuff, but to do all the work that they did, that really means a lot to us, man. I mean, we this is definitely a passion thing we do. We love all of this, and it means a lot to see developers that care that much as well.
Yeah, I have to ask Brian if Marvel's aware of this and signed off on this. When do we get into the MCU? When do we get cast as? Because I'm ready. Let's go. Put me on the big screen.
Also, a big shout out to Ryan Darcy, one of the designers of that game, who kind of helped us out to get some of the communication going for that.
All right, you guys, and I think that brings us to the next part of the show, which was actually a pretty cool reveal, a game called Summoner VR. Now, this is the first of many horror games that got revealed. And I got to say, I mean, I know everybody out there knows me already and goes, oh, Brian's a horror fan, and that's why you got so many horror games on the show. not what happened. I've reached out to literally 200 developers. I emailed and DM'd and I mean just nonstop, just trying to get in contact with any developer who might be bringing something to PSVR. And you know who responded to me? All horror developers. And I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great. And it's great for me. But as far as the show's concerned, I'm like, I think this is gonna be a little strange. Like this is like,
I mean,
this
that
is
would be the
Halloween
most
in
Brian
December.
Paul award show. That would be the most Brian Paul award show. It was just all horror reveals.
Yeah.
And every category was like best soundtrack in a horror game.
Yeah.
Best immersion in a horror game.
This was absolutely the revenge of Brian Paul with the no horror games this year. He's like, we're going to have horror this year. I promise you.
Right. If we're not going to have a horror game category, I'm going to reveal 4 horror games.
Yeah, but Summoner looked pretty cool. It had like a mix between I don't know why it gives me like the models and stuff kind of remind me of like House of the Dead a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, you see a whole bunch of stuff going on there. I love that trailer too, how it's just like it's got like that metal. A lot of trailers try to do that intense thing where it's got like metal clinging together and it's like on beat. And every time that happens, there's like breaking glass or like something epic happening. And nice. I liked how it synced up with the with like the music and stuff and just everything going on, looking like really high intensity stuff.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what got me excited about this game? And this is a weird, minute detail, but the font on the subtitle of the game was
strange.
that classic Japanese horror game font. Like it's that, I don't know, there's something to it that just reminds me of a certain something or other, where when you see that font, you know you're playing like an old Japanese game. There's something to it.
Yeah,
I was excited about it.
Yeah,
that's why I was saying like the kind of Sega arcade looking thing. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
No, it's cool. I just want to say
it looks like the font in House of the Dead or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really cool for for all these reveals that we had, and a lot of them were just saying, "Oh, it's coming in 2021, it's coming in 2021," and then to reach out to a random developer and not only did I strike gold and find out that their game was coming to PSVR, they were also able to say April, like not Q1 or Q2, April, and I was like, "Oh, cool, we've got a release month." That's awesome. So we've got something to look forward to just outside of Q1. There's so many games coming in Q1 that it was just like, oh, it's good to see something that's happening just after all of that madness happens.
So also, I don't know if this was before or after, but there was also a reveal of Windlands 2 still being in development.
Yeah, man, it was so good to hear from those guys too. SciTech Games, I believe. Asking them, I was like, can we stamp a release date on it? He's like, we don't want to promise anything to anybody and not be able to make it. So let's, but they already said we're full steam ahead, full production. Windlands 2 is definitely still happening, and I was like, that's exciting news. It's just one of those games that fell off the face of the planet. Haven't heard from in like 2 years, and then they say, nope, don't worry, it's still coming.
And yeah, awesome. people in the chat are saying, "Oh, I wish we had a Spider-Man VR game. How come there isn't one?"
Yeah, we already have
the original Windlands. The original Windlands was the game where people said, "Oh, you feel like Spider-Man," yeah. And you really kind of do. So I'm really excited for the next one, especially with co-op multiplayer. That's like a pretty big add-on to the whole concept. So yeah, Windlands 2. Keep an eye out for that one. Exciting.
And it just brings us up, I think, to the next award. Is that right?
Yeah, Dash World.
Oh man,
also was revealed. Yeah, I don't. This is just from what you sent me.
I just want to reiterate to you guys that Brian not only recorded, edited, sourced every video in this show, stayed up all night doing this, but then he took notes on his own show to send to us, his co-hosts.
Well, in all fairness,
like the level of dedication here. All I'm saying is, he took notes during his own award show to let us remember what happened. So, like, everybody just give Brian $5 right now.
No. In all fairness, I obviously had a run of show for myself to make sure that I didn't miss any of the reveals that I had. Wanted to kind of place everything before I even started putting it into Premiere. I wanted to have an outline, and so that outline existed. I had to modify it heavily during the show to send to you guys because everything kept changing to the last minute. But I'm glad it helps you for sure.
Yeah.
All right. What was the next award, man? We got Dash coming. Are we gonna?
We gotta talk about Dash real quick because
I get the video. Sorry, I get the video playing in the bottom left hand corner, and I see that I totally screwed that up. Those reveals don't happen for a little bit longer.
Okay. So the next award was Mr. Jamie Feltham himself from Upload VR. presenting the most immersive PSVR world. And this was another great one. We had Freediver, Shadow Legend, Saints and Sinners, Doctor Who, and The Room VR. And it was funny how got dropped a little F-bomb there from Jamie.
Yeah. No, I loved it.
That was definitely in my script.
Oh, damn. I was going to say, he watches the channel. He made that up himself, but
I should just start giving people credit for this stuff. Make it be way more fun that way.
Oh, shit. We got £5. I got it right that time.
You did.
From Craig Ray, got to be a GameCat official. Says, okay, Dave. He did what I said. Give Brian $5.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You don't have to give me money, but I do appreciate it anyway. It's always very strange. So yeah, Jamie did a great job presenting. He really nailed that presentation. And man, and this is such a weird category because most immersive world, you always got to remember what the category is when you're voting, right? It's like you don't just go look at these games and go which one is the best game. You say which one of these is the most immersive world. And I'm not, I love Shadow Legend to death. And I don't think I've stacked it up against the other games as in like which is my favorite game, but 100% has one of the most immersive worlds in VR that we've played so far.
Yeah, and I was actually kind of, not to get ahead of ourselves, but I was amazed to see they won 2 awards this year. Because that's a game that is sort of like an underdog. Like it's not a big budget game with a lot of marketing and stuff. And really it's just people in the community saying, hey, I love this thing, which is what you want in a best game of any category.
I thought the concept of Freediver was amazing with the unique locomotion system of like swimming, doing and stuff like that. But I figured this one was going to be between Shadow Legend and Saints and Sinners. But with Shadow Legend, yeah, I mean, the thing that I saw in the first like 5 seconds in the trailer for this game, it shows you like flipping steaks and like feeding horses carrots and there's so much stuff to interact with. It's just, from like tons of climbing. It's basically like if you would have put all this stuff into Skyrim, it'd be like it'd probably be considered like the best VR game ever made. All this, like Shadow Legend had all the stuff that kind of people were wanting from Skyrim, which was just all this stuff to interact with and mess around with.
Yeah, for sure.
At the end of the new Dream Borders Christmas level, can I feed you a carrot?
Sure.
AJ.
Oh, a virtual AJ would be hilarious. I love that.
There, like waiting for a carrot. Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to Deathly the Death Cat, rare with the Canadian $20 donation. Monopoly money. It's great work and dedication to the show and community. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys for another year, dude. I am so happy that you're here and everybody's here. I would not do this if I didn't think anybody cared or that anybody would watch. It's like this was something that I love doing and creating and then watching with you guys kind of as it happens. And then of course this here, it's being here and like being able to interact with you guys finally in the chat is like my favorite part of all of this.
Absolutely. I mean, this was such a huge thing that you had to put together, and it's just great to see like the reactions of people as it happened. Like I was excited about this and I'm on the show, like I was looking forward to this and I had some, sort of like, ooh, let's see what's going on. Really, really good stuff.
I love what Twitcher says here. He says Shadow Legend, the original definition of VR AF. Mm-hmm. That's true. That is where I think you coined that term.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah, like I said, also a big shout out to Saints and Sinners here because Saints and Sinners has this really deep immersive world to interact with and stuff. Everything from you can they give you weapons and stuff, but then you pick up spoons, you pick up bottles, they break, you throw them. It has like immersive sound which you can talk and things hear you and turn around. So I knew it was going to be a tough fight between those two. But all the nominees were pretty great in this. The Room VR as well, very interactive, very immersive with all of its just tons of polish and special effects and things like that. So great win.
I'm actually a little excited that Saints and Sinners didn't take home more categories this year. I was expecting that to sweep everything.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And so, I mean, it's all up to a community vote, guys. Like we haven't really talked that much about this part of it, but we didn't decide.
No,
it's not like AJ and Brian and I sat down and said, these are the best ones. Right. You guys decided that, and not just you guys in the chat, but like the greater internet.
Yeah, actually,
because I think a lot of developers reposted their stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I saw Jonah in the chat asking how many people voted, and it was wildly different for each one, each category.
Yeah.
And I actually have all the results if you guys are interested in hearing. Shadow Legend took it by a mile. In fact, I have the results right here. They took home 55% of the votes with 516 votes, and then Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners distant second with 318 votes, 34%. And everything else was dramatically lower. The Room only had 10%, and then Freediver and Doctor Who only had 1% each. Freediver had 9 votes and Doctor Who had 6. I actually went to bat for Doctor Who on this when we were trying to come up with the nominee list, because when I was playing Doctor Who, it was one of those VR experiences that when you walk into the TARDIS, it looks like obviously a little telephone booth and you walk into it, but in VR, it's like you walk in, it's like this huge room, and that's something that doesn't translate as well on a flat screen. And so this is something that made Doctor Who very, very immersive for me, and VR as fuck. It was absolutely. Shout out to Mad Max the Mad Game Cat with the $2 donation saying, hey, any Alvo news? LOL, had fun in beta. Actually, we were supposed to have Alvo. Alvo was supposed to be part of the show. I will tell you how many developers said, maybe I'll get you something. I'll try to get you something. And just plans changed. I totally understand, or whatever. And man, I really wish we could have debuted some new Alvo footage, but we're going to definitely be debuting new Alvo footage soon, even if it's not on the award show.
They've got new character models and some sliding mechanic that's been added. It's pretty cool stuff.
Did they put eyelids on the character models yet?
I'm sure they are
I
now.
think,
yes.
They look a lot better for sure. All right. Most immersive world. Congratulations, Shadow Legend.
Yes, absolutely. Really awesome.
Okay, then we had.
I see now you've got.
Yeah. Then we had Windlands, and now we have Dash Dash World that got announced for Q1 release on PlayStation VR.
Yes.
That is fantastic. We desperately need a kart racer over here. Desperately. So excited.
Yeah, and it's widely considered the best VR kart racer. And their support for that game is just ongoing constantly. They've just added the immersive steering wheel function where you're going to reach out and actually grab the steering wheel. They've said before that this game will support the different wheels as well. So lots of different options to play this with. I'm sure it'll use. I'd be very surprised if it doesn't use a DualShock as well. But yeah, this looks like the kart game that we were looking for, and I'm so excited that it's going to be coming Q1. We don't have to wait too long for it. Cannot wait.
It's going to be awesome. Awesome.
It is.
Yeah. All right. And I think that brings us to. I'm actually just watching the show now in the corner. I'm like, okay, let's see what was the next thing. I think we got the next award, which is Pop Best PSVR Dreams Creation with. And our presenter here was MC Alchemist, very prolific dreams creator. It was so cool.
This is the guy who made Silver Slumber, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
I love Silver Slumber. Oh my god, that's one of my favorites. How come that wasn't on the list?
Dude.
Oh, I didn't know he made. I didn't know he made Silver Slumber. I know he made a bunch of other ones. He just released a couple more too. He was one of the first dreams I played in VR. He did the Dragon Rider, and then he did the Deus Somnium. One which Dave, if you remember, it was the one where you're in this ancient Greek magical looking place, and then you're shooting basketballs and stuff. It was really cool and then he just made a Dream Night too. So esteemed creator, big shout out to the Dream community. The Dreams community is really just these full of so many really genuine, really supportive, and just amazing people. And it's just really exciting. That game is gonna just gradually just overtake everything by storm as more and more creators get more time to work on stuff. And already so many great VR experiences, including Super Great Job Human, Hypercycle Arena, Resident Evil Project Escape, The Missing Constellation, and of course the winner, which was Tectonic.
Yeah,
which is an awesome game. I was part of me was rooting for Missing Constellation, but Tectonic is so good that I'm glad that they won. They totally deserve it. I just wish that this category could have 15 nominees.
I know,
because there are so many other. There's so many other Dreams creations Me. I would have loved to seen, or
I could go on
Jungle
forever.
Bill. I mean, there's so many fantastic creations that absolutely could have and should have been here with all of these amazing games.
Like we could have an honorable mentions for that category that's as long as the award show.
Absolutely.
If we really wanted to, because there are so many good creations out there. Even if you guys didn't get nominated or win or anything, just know, Dreams creators, like, we see you. Everything you're doing is awesome, and there's so much good stuff out there. So yeah,
absolutely. Everyone keep making PSVR Dream games for us to play. I'm definitely gonna be diving into that and making my own Dreams game, but one step at a time.
And go play Tectonic. It's fantastic.
Seriously, go play Tectonic. Go play all these games. They're all fantastic.
Yeah. So then we got the reveal. We haven't heard from Reggie in a minute. We know he just recently moved. Shout out to Strange Game Studios. But he made some time and effort to send you in some new clips of both RC Airplane Challenge and an Honor and Duty Steampunk. And man, I got to say, I was really excited to see that new footage from RC Airplane Challenge. I had the honor, we don't actually live too far apart, so I had the honor of going and testing it, and that footage that he showed me was just like, wow. Like, and I really can't wait to experience RC Airplane Challenge in first person, like flying through the wings and stuff, kind of get that like Pilot Wings vibe going. That seems like such a fun experience to me.
Yeah, guys, we got another tip that's going to get away from us if I don't read it now. And so it's from Caloderma GameCat with the €550 saying, thank you guys for providing us the weekly Gamescast, and also to AJ for his Saturday night viewer's choice. Can't wait to continue in 2021. Excellent job, man. Keep that. I love that that's become like a community gathering. Like all the Gamecasts head over to your channel on Saturday nights and everybody watches you play games that they choose.
Yeah, it's like, let's see how many times we can make him play Dread Halls.
I always try to get out of it. I'll get out of it any ways I can.
Right.
No, last night we were up late last night playing with the cats, and it was so much fun, man. We actually ended on Dreams and the little Christmas snowboarding level, and it was so much fun, man. Love you guys.
Nice. Yeah, and like, so getting back to Reggie's footage, man, I definitely think, especially from the first time we saw footage of RC Airplane Challenge, I mean, it looked, no offense to Reggie, it looked kind of bland and boring, and I was like, what are you doing here? And then like he had an updated trailer where you could actually see the each individual blade of grass, and I was like, ooh, this is looking better. And then he's talking about multiplayer, and I'm saying, man, if he can implement the kind of multiplayer that Honor and Duty D-Day has into RC Airplane Challenge, we're all gonna be flying around in the skies together. I'm like, this could be a lot of fun. So keep up the good work, Reg.
Knowing Reggie, you're going to be able to fly with a HOTAS and then have a move controller also and shoot a guy with a pistol while you're flying your HOTAS. Like, I'm sure it'll be something like that. But I'm excited.
He's already pretty much confirmed that he has like the HOTAS support and a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course, I mean, this is just a small little vertical slice of Steampunk that he showed us, Honor and Duty Steampunk. Unbelievable. When you look at the jump from D-Day to this is like, I don't want to say photorealistic, man, but when you put it into a little corner,
models, man. The character models are much, much better. I am curious, though. I didn't see a ton of steampunk in it, I was like, where's the steampunk part? But it looks pretty good.
Oh, you will see, sir. You will see.
Indeed.
Right. Yeah, we didn't get much steampunk footage in the 15 seconds or so.
Oh,
but
hey, Reggie's in the chat, actually. Yeah. He says HOTAS support is already done. Already in there.
Yeah, the lighting, the lighting and stuff in that field, that looks so good. Can you imagine if something that plays like Honor and Duty and looks like that? Like, oh my God, that's going to be ridiculously good.
Yeah, keep up the good work,
Reggie.
Reg.
The only thing I can ask... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say keep us up to date, man, like so we can keep showing off your progress on the games. What were you going to say?
Whenever AJ brings up the blades of grass, I think of like put in a flower mode, Reggie. Put in a flower mode. You know the game Flower, where you just kind of fly around through open fields with grass and light up the flowers. That would be
I think I'll stick to gunning down steampunk enemies with my Thompson.
Ever since I got a VR headset, I realized that Flower would be incredible in VR. But yeah,
that's one of those games that you're like, why wasn't Flower there at launch? Flower, Journey, all of those games. That game machine, no, that game company. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we're going to move on to best soundtrack, and we definitely had a very, very special presenter for this award.
Got his demo tape ready.
Can we have a rendition of the song you played?
I mean, so I sort of improvised it. I don't know if you could tell, but it was the result of it was like 30 takes. And like, I actually sent Brian a video of all the outtakes.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch it, unfortunately.
It's fine. It's if you haven't vetted it, don't play it. But it's got some good stuff in there. Maybe I'll post it on Patreon or Discord or something.
Perfect.
Yeah, there were a lot of versions of the song.
So for best PSVR soundtrack, we had.
No, keep going.
We had Demo, Golem, Until You Fall, Pistol Whip, and Space Channel 5. And of course, the big winner here was Pistol Whip.
It was.
Like, got to give a shout out to Golem and Demo that were, I think, each nominated for 3 categories.
And Until You Fall.
And I mean, but those 2 games specifically that didn't win anything and were nominated for, I think, 3 categories each. And both of them were such, like, just transformative experiences for me. They both came around at the right time. I needed those games, and the soundtrack was no small part in those. So shout out to, my heart goes to Demo and Golem, because I just fucking love those games so much, and I love the soundtrack in it. And so you got robbed. I'm kidding. But man, beautiful soundtracks if you haven't heard those. But yeah, man, I think ultimately the soundtrack went to the right place here. Don't you guys agree?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, either any of these could have won. I love, I don't know if I'm overstepping my boundaries here, but I think music means a lot more to me in games than it does to you guys. Maybe Dave.
What are you talking about?
Well, I just
we're all we've all been in bands and been musical people. Like,
I don't hear you guys bring up soundtrack a whole bunch. But anyways,
it's notable. I mean,
it's a conversation we've had before, so I'm wrong though. I'm wrong. Okay.
As a musician,
anyways,
Ghost Giant has the best soundtrack ever. Of any PSVR.
Interesting. But anyways, so one note on the Golem soundtrack as well is that was made by Marty O'Donnell, the same guy that created the Halo theme, that iconic Halo theme.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, so that's pretty huge. Until You Fall, amazing soundtrack as well with the synth wave, which they like to call sword wave. Space Channel 5. If there was I thought it was actually really fun. It was just a short game, but the music was really on point. And was amazing to me. And of course, there's Demo with the piano stuff. But Pistol Whip, man, action movies. I love action movie soundtracks, and I think that's what makes the Pistol Whip soundtrack so special. Is it really captured like tons of action movies for me, and that's what I really appreciated about this one.
I kind of want to give a special shout out, personally, honorable mention to Until You Fall. Just because, like, functionally, the music in that game really pumps you up to keep playing. And it's like, there's something, it's almost part of the gameplay loop to hear that that soundtrack hit when you die. And it's like, and it's like getting ready to get back into it, all these candidates were great. But, yeah.
And of course, shout out to Joel Green from Cloudhead Games, who gave us the acceptance speech. Again, just fantastic to see the developers participate in this event. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
I think we should move on.
Yeah.
We've got then we had the reveal for Cave Digger 2. That was pretty cool. We got some concept art. Like I said, I have so much respect for Cave Digger. It's just a really cool concept. Cool when it comes to like what people like in VR. I think it does a lot of the right things. And then they've got this one, which there was no footage, but there was like cool concept art. Kind of got to look a little behind the scenes look at what they're planning with this game.
We're gonna have a gun.
Yeah.
Enemies,
and we're gonna dig harder,
dude. Enemies in Cave Digger. I think Cave Digger was such a great concept initially, and then when they added all that DLC and gave you all this like extra stuff to do, and like, they let you get out of the mine shaft, it was like, this is cool. But then it suddenly felt like a big thing that was missing some extra gameplay mechanics, and I think this is their opportunity to do the big thing with all the necessary gameplay mechanics to make it feel like a fully fleshed out game. Man, I can't wait to see what they're doing, and I felt so privileged for them. They threw this thing together for us, specifically to be like, we don't have any gameplay footage to share yet, but like we are excited about the game, and please, let me put this together for you. Felt so privileged to see this stuff.
I love the sound of this, man. I think we have so much ADD that just adding more things to do is going to really help this game go a long way.
For sure. And that brings us to the next award, which another amazing presenter, AJ, delivered Best Puzzle Game with the most uncomfortable wink ever in a presentation speech.
Well, you guys should see what he edited out of the speech.
No. That was no. No, man. It was I was really it was great. It was funny that I got to do best puzzle game. We were talking about this, right? And we were like trying to decide who does what. And I was like, I got to do puzzle game, right? Like I'm the puzzle guy, and that's like I deserve the puzzle category.
When you guys give me on a top 20 list Five Nights at Freddy's to record a voiceover for, that's how I feel. I'm like, oh god damn it, you did this on purpose.
I'm trying to pause it on the wink itself.
Yeah, I didn't know how much to sell it or not, but the best PSVR puzzle games were Separation, Paper Beast, Demo, and The Room VR. And I feel like there's one missing there.
There's probably one missing.
Listed 4, I think.
Yeah, like I said, this run of show is absolutely not complete. But let me fast forward here, and we can see it is. Let's see. We got Paper Beast. Was that on the list?
Yeah.
Okay. We got Paper Beast. We got Separation.
Yep.
I can't fast forward this fast enough to do this properly.
Oh, it was Blind Spot. Blind Spot was the other one.
The Room VR. Oh, okay. Because puzzle game, right?
Right.
Because Blind Spot, I thought Blind Spot was a great puzzle game, but man, like because of the because it was a little janky and there was super blurry, so unfortunately, didn't get the love it deserved.
Yeah, I loved. We all really loved Separation earlier this year. From Recluse Industries was just really like one of those games where it's like this is a work of art, very artistic, and
also one of those games that you love but you know is not going to win. Unfortunately, not enough people have played it. And this is a game that I hope that the awards show gets to show people like some of these games in a category that they aren't aware of, because Separation is one that went pretty much under the radar, but it landed on the top 5 list for this year. So hopefully people will check that out.
Dude, it's like, honestly, if you haven't played Separation yet, it's $12 or $13. Like just go buy it. Like show Martin over there at Recluse Industries, that you love this kind of stuff, because, or if you don't, but if you do, make sure you do.
Then there was Paper Beast, which was Eric Chahi's Pixel Reef. Really cool, creative, kind of trippy experience puzzle game. There's Demo, which mixes the rhythm, music, and then which had really great puzzles. Like when you're assembling that orchestra and stuff, I was like, wow, like the puzzles are actually really good in this. But then of course there has to be one winner, and I mean, The Room VR, A Dark Matter was stunning. It came out earlier this year. It was a popular title, and they wanted to try something new. And that game is just, wow, just really, really incredible puzzle game.
Yeah, I remember when I first got, sometimes you'll get a new smartphone or something, and you're like, oh, what games can I play on this thing, right? And everybody told me, oh, you got to play The Room. The Room is awesome. Check out The Room. Yeah. I feel the same way about the VR version. If somebody just picked up a new VR headset, I would say, check this game out. This is really cool. It's popular for a reason and has been for a long time. But and I love Egyptian stuff, so I'm a sucker. Exactly. I'm such a sucker for that. Like, sarcophagi, Nefertiti, whatever. Throw it all at me.
Well, that's what makes this game so special. I mean, the puzzles were top tier. Can't really be touched. But also to go with it was this atmosphere, this spooky, creepy museum, and stuff like that. And I think that was one thing that really will hook a lot of people is that you get that sense of adventure when you see
You're like
that.
Professor Indiana Jones,
right?
Not like, not swinging around on your whip, but you're Professor Indiana Jones, his sidekick. Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau.
No, I couldn't get enough of the Room VR. In fact, that was my only problem with the Room VR, was that there wasn't enough of it. There was 3 main core levels, I believe, and then the police station introduction that was almost like tutorial, but still very, very cool. And then the last 2 levels just sort of felt tacked on for story's sake, and I thought the puzzles were a little, a little lacking. And so for me, I was just like, man, this could have been like a game that I can't stop recommending. Instead, it was just a fantastic puzzle game, and it absolutely deserved this win. I don't remember who. I think I voted for this one. I can't remember, but it was such a great experience when you were playing it, and then when it's over, you're like, oh, it's over. No, why does it have to be over? And it was so I was like, oh man, I just wish there was so much more to this.
But so polished and so good, and we usually go pretty tough on games that are like teleport only, click turning only. But this was one where I felt like, they took what their design of the game was, and it kind of like fit, because you're at this station. You don't want to be like wondering what to do in this game. You just, the puzzles are good enough of a challenge to where it was really cool to just kind of put you in place, and then you have to look around and, observe around the room and stuff. Just fantastic game.
Yeah. I'm appreciating all the Tommy Wiseau references in the chat, by the way, guys. I see you.
Never gets old.
I see you.
Yep. Yeah, man, can you imagine being a developer Fireproof Studios and like making a series of games called The Room? This has been around forever. I mean, it's gotta be really old for them at this point, but like for us, it's still fairly new. So
I mean, they're ripe for a tie-in. They should have a tie-in, I feel like. But
yeah. And then we follow this up with a new trailer from Jeff at Outsource Future Mental, I believe the company is called, for Distortion VR. He created this trailer for us to show off some new gameplay mechanics, to show that you're actually going to be able to do manual reloading in this game. And man, this thing looks better than it's ever looked before.
Every time, right?
It's going to be a Cyberpunk game that they don't have to pull from the PlayStation store. Hopefully.
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
I mean, and then with like the word that lo-fi is probably going to be a flat game. Like, this is the Cyberpunk VR experience we are waiting for, most anticipating. And somebody said it in the chat during the awards show. They were like, this game just looks better every time we see it, and I totally agree. Take your time, Jeff. We want a polished, working, amazing title, and I think it's going to deliver, man. It looks like a lot of fun, and just every time we see it, it looks better.
Yeah,
and I want to say too, if people think that this looks a lot like lo-fi, or they're going to be the same kind of game or whatever, I think they're actually pretty different. Lo-fi is a lot more atmospheric, and it's about like kind of the environment and exploring and stuff like that. They're adding gameplay mechanics, but
this is an action shooter.
That's what I'm saying. This is a game. Like, this is more arcadey, more shooty, more like you're actively doing stuff. Whereas from what I've played of lo-fi, it is more exploratory. Like, it's really cool, but it's not so much gameplay mechanics. But we'll see when it launches. But
yeah, be patient. Be patient with Distortion. It's definitely a one-man development team. There was a plan, of course, to hire more people. But things changed, and of course, everything changed this year for everybody. And so he's been plugging away at this on his own all of this time. And so, of course, that has delayed everything. But doesn't mean we're looking forward to it any less. I think he's doing a killer job. So keep your fingers crossed that this one plays as good as it looks. Can't wait to play this one. And I think he's gone on record saying a few times this is going to be aim, DualShock, and moves. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
So, not to get too off topic here, but Mark Pringlesleaf in chat says, "Is Cyberpunk the only game to have been pulled from the store?"
No.
I don't think so.
It happens all the time.
Arena, there's a few other ones that got pulled.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen to in this fashion.
Massive games that just got released.
Right. So next we had Ian Higton from Eurogamer presenting one of my favorite categories of the year. I was so excited for this category, and to think we could have even had one more added to this category. Best PSVR sword fighting game. We had Vader Immortal, Gorn, Until You Fall, Swordsman VR, and Golem. This was a category that I was like praying that we would one day get to have. Because if you remember the last 3-4 years of PSVR, there wasn't a lot of sword fighting games. We got Golem, which was like end of last year, and like that was like the first one with real like physics and stuff like that, where it kind of explored that. And yeah, and so I was super excited for this.
Yeah, no, Golem kicked it off really, really well, and we, but it was also very mechanical. It was okay, when you are swung in this direction, you hold this way, and when and then as soon as that happens, then you can parry and attack a specific body part. But that was done so well, so it was a great introduction. Right. And it was like, oh my god, I can actually, I feel the hit in the move controller, and I can feel the hit when I swing, and it all feels right physics wise, and that was something we didn't actually think was possible until this point. Without the haptics, just wouldn't be strong enough to make it all work properly. So this has been an amazing year, and seeing how all the different developers handled it in different ways has been very cool.
This one could have gone to just about any most of these actually.
Yeah. But it's like a super strong candidate in this category.
Oh my god. Yeah, of course.
But of course, Sin Studio wins with Swordsman Vr, which we were very hopeful that this was going to turn out well, and I love this pick. I love this pick because this game has those raw, like gladiator like physics. My thing with Golem was that like it is very like structured, dotted line, like very dotted line, very
you're supposed to do what it wants you to do,
right? And
freedom to the combat.
Right, and Swordsman, just every time you get into it, like the weapons feel heavy, they feel weighty, and just the physics feel like a little bit more on the realistic side, and there's not like here slice here stuff. It is just go out there and just brawl. And this game, I'm so happy to see the success this game has been having, and I think it's a really well deserved win from Sin Studio. It really makes me so happy to see this.
If you guys want to hear the results, the Swordsman Vr took, again, 50% of the votes. So again, this is 100% up to the voters. The three of us voted, but our votes don't count more than anyone else's. Right. So 175 votes went to Swordsman Vr. In
Brian.
Yeah.
He's freezing for me.
Hold on.
Is he freezing for you too?
No, he's back. We're good.
Yeah, just everything's good.
Yeah, you don't have to say anything when that happens.
I thought we were
just
dying.
A blip. Just a blip.
OBS was dying. I don't know.
I will definitely let you know if anything goes wrong on this end. If you get Until You Fall, 94 votes. So literally 79 vote difference. So Swordsman Vr took 50% of the votes. Wow. Until You Fall, 27%. Golem took 10%. Vader Immortal, 8%. Gorn, 6%. So that is how those numbers broke down.
That's closer than I knew. I didn't know it was that close.
I mean, I feel like that kind of, it almost feels like a sweep, right? I mean, is 50% versus 27%? I mean, Swordsman took almost twice the number of votes.
Didn't you say a lot of these ended up being a sweep?
A lot of them, like it certainly wasn't terribly close. But as AJ was saying, they bounced back and forth on a daily basis, and then finally you saw a clear victor toward the end.
I definitely saw this going back and forth between those two, but
yeah,
excellent.
And so not only so a little more inside baseball. Love Alex Sin, right? Great guy. We had an awesome developer interview. He talked about, he was very open and candid about all the games that he released so far. He gave us this acceptance speech. Got this acceptance speech at 4:00 this morning. Right?
Literally, when I talked to you on the phone, I was like, there's no way he's sending you an acceptance speech. It's too late. There's no time. And then
I took a 2-hour nap.
As soon as we hung up, he did.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to send it by midnight. And I was like, excellent. And then and I was like, that's perfect. I'm going to take a 2-hour nap. When I get up, everything I need is going to be here. I woke up at 1 a.m. Nothing. I didn't hear from him until 3:30 in the morning. He's like, I had to take a nap too. It was so, like I said, a little inside baseball, but it was just so you guys know how crazy it was getting some of this stuff into the show until the absolute last minute. And the same went for the reveal, which AJ, we knew we were going to do this reveal with the Claws event that's happening starting this week on Swordsman Vr. It's a free update. It's a new boss fight. It's going to I don't want to get into too many details because I don't know what.
I mean, is it finally our chance to kill Santa Claus?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right.
Old guy had it coming.
And so AJ done the voiceovers, and then I got the trailer again, like super early this morning, and I was putting all this stuff together at the absolute last minute. We are going to be teaming up with Sin Studio to be doing this giveaway that they're doing. They're talking about gift cards and a PlayStation 5 digital edition. There's a gaming chair. I mean, so more details on that, but make sure you go to Sin Studio's Discord. And if either one of you guys or any of the mods can just grab the link to the Sin Studio Discord and put it in the chat right now, because we want to send everybody over there. We want to, because you have to be in their Discord to be enter this competition.
Yeah, don't miss your chance to win a PS5 digital console.
Right,
that's huge. And still the gaming chair. I use a gaming chair. Those things are awesome.
and don't miss your chance to compete in an awesome challenge, man. Like I love when there's like these limited time events where like you do it now or you don't do it at all. I mean, that's like something that games couldn't deliver until recently. When we were most of us growing up playing cartridges or games or with consoles that weren't connected to the internet, like these games weren't changing all the time. Swordsman is changing all the time, and I just love that this is something that they're doing. So very, very cool. We're thrilled to be able to announce this.
Hell yeah.
We should hold on. I don't want to miss this tip in the chat.
Give me tips.
One
money.
Second.
Funny money tip.
And you guys have it? I missed it.
I got it. The Bearsties Game Cats.
What's up, Hugo?
$6.99 in Canadian funny money says, "Hi guys, I've realized the comics panels behind me. We doing the reflection. Thanks for your help. Awesome award show as always."
Oh wow.
Oh, we were trying to help him out with some tracking issues, and I think what he's saying is that he had some like framed comic panels behind him that maybe were reflective, and the glass was
makes perfect sense.
Yeah. If you guys ever have tracking issues, check behind you. If anything reflective is there, if lights are on, kill all that. But I'm glad to be able to help, and thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, now we just need to help Sticks out, because Sticks was in the Discord earlier, and he's got some major tracking problems. So we'll help everybody eventually. I hope. Hopefully, we'll solve all tracking problems worldwide.
And there is now a Sin Studio Discord link in the chat. Thank you, Nick.
Good job, Nick.
Awesome.
All right.
So next we had Eka present the best genre-defying PSVR game. Eka, of course, made Dino Frontier, one of the near launch games, and of course Falcon Age. Who didn't love playing with that the Falcon, the baby Falcon, the grown Falcon,
the original Tornado? Awesome. Before I ever got my cat, I named my Falcon Tornado.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Dude, Eka is awesome, man.
Yeah, he's VR royalty, really. And when I reached out to him and said, "Would you do this?" and he said, "Yeah, sure." Sure. I was like, "Oh, wow! I didn't expect you to say that." So thank you, Eka, for being one of our presentators.
So for this one, we had Minecraft, Shadow Legend, Dreams, Pixel Ripped, and Hotel R&R, and of course, Shadow Legend wins again.
And stiff competition for this one, because Shadow Legend does defy genres, but you can totally just be like, oh, it's a hidden object game, or oh, it's it's an archery game, or you can start
fantasy adventure,
Well, and I mean, Dreams is in objectively speaking terms the most genre defying game that you could make. Like it's just everything. It's just everything. But, Shadow Legend did it in a certain way that I think resonated with people. And I'm not surprised that they won. But 2 awards, man. I wasn't expecting Shadow Legend to, clean up the way that it did.
Nope. Especially with competition like with Minecraft and Pixel Ripped and Hotel R&R. Hotel R&R, I've never played a game. No, that's probably not true. I was gonna say I've never played a game where your mission was to destroy things, but I've certainly never played a game where your mission was to destroy things in this way. And the progression system was awesome. That was another one where it's just like you go in and you just start hitting things with your fists. The first couple times you play, then eventually you're able to buy weapons, and you're like, oh, I didn't even realize this whole wall was destructible. It's just discovering the secrets in each level. And I was like, I don't even know what kind of game this is. It's like a beat 'em up without bad guys.
I mean, I feel like it's just a game where you're a rock star who made a deal with the devil, and everything else goes from there, which is a great concept.
What it is,
and I love it.
What genre is that?
I don't know. Robert Johnson games.
Wow, good.
Went down to Crossroads and
nice.
Yeah.
And of course, Pixar 1995 is like that's like a retro Inception game they call it. And I was like, I don't really know what kind of game this is. So all very, very good candidates for this award, I think.
Absolutely.
So yeah, shout out to Vitruvius for winning 2 awards. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah. The
Then
guys who made Purples.
Then we got the reveal for Tempest 84. This was an interesting one because I've been following this game for like, I really think maybe like I don't know, maybe the end of 2019 is. I think it was November 2019 when I first heard about this game, and they said that they were going around to different conventions, showing off some early concept footage. And I had been waiting patiently, and it was nice to finally see some footage from this, and it looked pretty cool. It's got a cool style to it. It looked kind of trippy and time travel stuff going on here, and good influences, man.
For sure.
Yeah, trippy was the word that I saw in chat a lot popping up, and I'm on board with that. Trippy is good for me. I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, and I mean, I put pre-alpha footage on the screen for a reason. Like, this is the first time they've revealed any gameplay at all, and like, so just if you don't know how games are made, like, this is how all games look at a certain point, right? It's like, because like you get that graphical level of like detail and polish at the very end. And I think what they're showing off here, everything from exploration to combat to I actually loved, and I know it doesn't look so hot in this trailer, but you're actually looking through a door, it's got the 3 planks on it, and you're like, knocking those 3 planks off, and I'm just like, that makes me go, what are we doing in this game? And it just like adds a lot of questions, and I love questions. I love not knowing exactly what to expect.
I love questions. Brian
it looks like, honestly, to me, it looks like it has the potential to be like a better Rick and Morty game, is what it looked like. Because there's like some shooting elements and stuff to it, and going through portals and stuff. Yeah, kind of like it looked like what I wanted from Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
I mean, I did go through portals and shoot things in Rick and Morty, but it wasn't very satisfying. So.
Well, just I want to be able to keep revealing these kind of like super early in development games to you guys. As long as there's always the understanding of like pre-alpha footage means something. And so congratulations to Portal's Edge. Very, very awesome start to their game. So looking really good, guys. Keep up the good work.
Excellent. We got a euro donation from Kolani. I can't pronounce it. Okay. It's breaking my brain for some reason.
Colonianer.
That's a weird thing to have to say. He says, thank you. Great show. Thank you for watching. And thank you, Brian, for seriously, like that was I know it took you a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to put that together.
Only a month. But, it's nothing.
All I'm saying is like sitting there with people in the chat and seeing it, debut. Yeah. It's always it's a cool feeling. And thank you for doing that.
I'm not gonna lie. There was a point where Tornado was in my lap, and I was like, I'm just gonna hold her and pet her so she doesn't do anything wrong, and she doesn't pull any plugs out of the wall, And she was like, and she was just kind of like cradled in my arms and wait. Usually when she's on her back, she doesn't like that. She likes to have her paws against me, and so she was on her back, and I was just petting her belly, and she was looking at me, and her eyes were like kind of watering, and I was like, are you sharing this moment with me, Tornado? Are you sharing this like do you understand like that all of this work is like paying off right now as I sit here and bet you? And it was just like an emotional moment for me at a certain point, and I was like, again, keeping up with everybody in the chat and just seeing all the positive comments. Man, it was super emotional for me today. I'm also super sleep deprived, so like everything's hitting me harder than it should. But like you guys mean the world to me, and this community means the world to me. So thank you so much for being here and watching the show live and watching it kind of unfold with me. That's all I'm going to say.
Are you in that state of sleep deprivation where like you'll see a commercial and it just makes you tear up for no reason at all?
That's not sleep deprivation for me. I do that all the time. Okay. Like this, it goes hand in hand with iCarly being my favorite show. Yeah.
God damn it, Roomba! Why'd you hit me in the heart? Like,
we got a real quick donation from Red Rover, the effing game cat Darkins, with the $20 donation. Says, did I miss anything? Love the jacket, AJ. Love the tie, Brian. Love the Daveness, Dave. Y'all are pretty swanky today. Do you have any gray poop on? Pardon me.
I just stuck on horseradish mustard. I love it.
I love the concept of those old commercials that like a guy in a limo would just like be stopping and asking people like on the street, "Do you carry any mustard in your car, sir?"
You don't do that? I do that all the time. So this next one, guys, this was a really, really awesome. The new face of video games, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Did most memorable art design. It was super awesome to have Blessing do this. Honestly, guys, it's kind of funny games in particular has really saved me a lot this year. Everybody out there from Greg to Blessing to Tim to Imran
Andy,
to Kevin to Andy. Yeah, that whole team has been doing God's work this year in terms of covering video games, and just been such a joy and really gotten me through some tough times this year. So I cannot recommend Kind of Funny Games enough. Those are awesome dudes, very professional, but also tons of fun. And Blessing did most memorable art design. Also, big shout out to all the best friends out there, the Kind of Funny best friends out there. Yeah, he did art design, which had Until You Fall, Bonfire, Paper Beast, Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets, and Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. Another really competitive category, I think.
Oh, for me, Until You Fall was always the clear winner in this category. I mean, like there's something so strong about the art design in that game.
Oh yeah.
It's as soon as you see it, it captures you in some way. You're like, wow, okay. And I think they kept describing it as what, like a neon hellscape? Is that what they called it?
Yeah.
That's a good sweet spot. Neon hellscape. Very, very good art design. But everything nominated, as you said, was a great game. But this one for me was not as close as some of the other ones.
You're right. It took me a second. I don't know why that took me a second to process that, but yeah, the art design, which we had the award acceptance from Justin Devour, I think his name is Devore, I should say. The artwork in Until You Fall just absolutely grabs you right away. And specifically, the character designs, I think, are something like not only the first thing I did was jump in that game, and I'm looking at my IK, and I'm just like, holy shit, I look like a badass. Like, I look amazing. This neon fantasy thing going on. Then if you really pay attention and look at like all the details of the enemies and stuff, how they're almost like these woodland like fantasy monster looking guys, knights and stuff. The artwork is really something special in this game, and I just absolutely loved it, and totally agree. 100% deserved to go to Until You Fall.
It's also worth noting that this is a game where if you look through your library on the PlayStation, a lot of games have the title of the game in the icon, right? To let you know what you're playing, right? Until You Fall is just an image, but the art design is so iconic and like well done specifically that I just scrolling through see that image and I think of Until You Fall. And I feel like that's sort of a weird way to say that their art design is so well done that you don't even need anything to describe it to you. You just see it and you like it and you're like, I know what that is. So really good job from Shell Games there.
Yeah, I want a specific shout out for me, Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets. I want to say this was the only nomination it got this year. But man, that game is all about art design. It is like, like these kind of like miniature models, and everything looked claymation animated. It just had like a very, very cool look to it, very unique. I hate saying very unique, but it was absolutely, something we'd never seen in VR before. And
was it Fish Laser unique?
It was, it was almost Fish Laser unique. But just, I mean, that's what that game had going for it in my book, was the art design. It's obviously fun to like solve these little puzzles and discover little collectibles, but the entire time, if it didn't have great art design, that stuff would not have been enjoyable to me. So that game was sold to me on the art design. So shout out to Curious Tale over at Fast Travel.
Well, and also it's worth mentioning their previous game had great art design too. Like, I wasn't even the biggest fan, but there was something about the level design and the way they tried to recreate like an actual physical location, and then sort of the color scheme and everything. They've always had a good eye for art design, I think, for sure, in every game we've seen.
I did like the art design in all of these, obviously, because that's why they were nominated. But Paper Beast was really cool too. I thought the art design was really awesome.
Yeah. And a final shout out to Blessing for doing this again. One of those people you reach out to and you go, "I've never talked to you before. Like you don't know me from anybody, right?"
Yeah.
And right, and it was like literally minutes. He responds, "Sure, what do you need?" I was like, "Well, wait, hey, how's it going? What's up?"
Yeah.
So thank you so
big
much.
Big fan of his work.
Right.
And what I love too is those are, I think him and Greg are the two guys at Kind of Funny who are sort of like the VR enthusiasts, I would say.
Blessing,
I feel like
especially Blessing is huge on VR, man.
And so is
loves
Greg fucking loves VR.
Right, but trust me when I say Blessing is like next level VR. Like he loves Astrobot. He's constantly talking about it. That's just a treat. The cherry on top is getting to hear him kind of gush about VR a little bit.
Well, I mean, eventually, maybe 2025 award show, you can just have all of Kind of Funny do the intros, and I can take a day off. I can take a day off, and you can let Andy do one. You can let Tim do one, and
it's funny you say that because honestly, like it was one of those things where I actually, when I emailed Blessing, I was like, usually we only ask one person from each media outlet. Like the last thing we want to do is have this be like the Kind of Funny VR awards show, But I was like, but Blessing has absolutely killed it this year with the PlayStation VR support, and as much as I love Kind of Funny, we'll go into more of that later. He is the one that is like really, if I ever started straying from Kind of Funny, he was on the kind of like rope me back in and be like, no. Keep watching, dude. There's stuff that you're gonna really love here. So huge fan of Kind of Funny, huge fan of Blessing and Greg. So as AJ already said, guys. Huge shout out to all the best friends out there. I definitely am a Kind of Funny best friend, hands down. Always have been, always will be. All right, and that brings us to I'm gonna scrub through the rest of the acceptance speech.
Are you using the video? I have the script right here.
Well, I mean, I'm updating it for all the viewers as well, so it's running properly in the corner.
Gotcha.
And this was a fantastic reward when I reached out to reveal. Sorry, I really need some sleep. When I reached out to Fallen Planet, and I was like, "Hey guys, you got anything for an award show that's coming up? Blah 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 blah. We'd love to hear something about something." And then for them to go ahead and produce this whole video for the award show, like it's so well done. Right? I mean, forget about for a second what they revealed during this teaser trailer. Just the production of this was so great, and I'm so thankful to people who spend all this time making amazing videos like this. So shout out, you guys are awesome. But also, what you revealed was also very awesome. We've been waiting for updates on Affected the Manor forever, and to know that it's finally coming, the complete edition with 2 new modes, is fantastic.
For free, if you own the game.
For free. Already. Yeah. Like I was certainly one of the guys that was like, oh, the Gauntlet. I'm like, I want new areas to explore. But the Gauntlet does look really cool with randomized scares, trying to chase down, speed runs basically of the manor. But then when they also revealed the Darkness, which I believe is what it was called, with new areas, you have to do everything by candlelight. I'm like, this has my name all over it. Mm-hmm. You guys excited for this one?
Absolutely. Yeah. I was
there's a lot of latent excitement from people too in the chat. Like I saw a ton of people being like, "Oh man, Affected the Manor, like that was one of my favorites. I haven't thought about that in a year, but like I love that game," or whatever, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's kind of a weird one to have a big new reveal. Like you don't expect Affected the Manor to be your big reveal, but I am excited about this. Those new modes look really, really cool.
They look really good.
Yeah, my hope for this game is that, obviously Affected is supposed to be a series. It's supposed to be Affected the Hospital, Affected the this, Affected the that, and it's supposed to be like
Affected the dentist office.
Hop into an elevator and, it takes you to like these different places or something. I don't know if I just made that up, but like it is, and so hopefully this is them kind of like laying the groundwork to be like, okay, when we bring you these other areas, it's going to have these modes. So it's more than just like run through this 20-minute haunted house. It's like this game has replayability now. So it's very exciting. And that takes us to scrubbing the award for most epic adventure with VR superstar Nathy as a presenter. Wouldn't be an award.
Nathy killed it.
Killed it.
Yeah.
Dude, such a great speech.
I loved it, man.
And I'm not patting myself on the back, man. Like when I say great speech, like he took what I sent him and just fucking ran with it. And so that was really nice to see.
Yeah, he did a great job presenting, lots of energy, doing his thing. I was waiting for our let's go. But yeah, obviously, a huge one of the godfathers of VR content creator guys out there, just day in day out killing it with the stuff. And for most epic PSVR adventure, had Squadrons, Minecraft, Saints and Sinners, Golem, and I'm assuming there's another one on here that's missing from my list.
I assume there's another one.
Did you get Squadrons on there?
3, 4, yeah. Squadrons, Minecraft, Saints and Sinners, and Golem.
It's going through right now. I'm sure I'll see the one that we missed. Iron Man.
Oh, was it Iron Man? Okay. Yeah. I thought maybe it could have been. But yeah, and of course the winner went to Skydance Interactive.
We're redoing the awards. We're like, and the winner is.
And the winner is.
Didn't see any of the stuff that happened before.
Right.
You're in luck.
Well, like we said, we expected kind of Skydance and Saints and Sinners to kind of win everything. Basically.
Everything.
We thought they were going to The Last of Us 2 the hell out of this award show.
Absolutely.
Which I love to see the variety. Don't get me wrong. But that's been our top 25 list winner for the last 2 months now. And I just can't say enough good things about this game and the entire team over there. With the well-deserved win. And, of course, Peter Ackman from Skydance accepted the award. And, he's kind of a big deal. He's this secret mastermind that just really says we can do this, and they do it. And I have so much respect for this guy. I'm almost intimidated by him every time I see him because I'm like, this guy is like a god when it comes to making video games and what goes on in his head.
You need to clip all this and send it to your boss.
Don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. He's not watching. He's too busy making extreme calculations and things.
Sure, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I do want to reiterate. We definitely thought. It didn't matter what we voted for. We thought Saints Sinners was going to sweep the show. And so watching all this stuff roll in and watching all the votes roll in, we're just like, wait a minute, what's happening here? And it was so like from our end behind the scenes, just being like, this is insanity. Again, love the variety, love to see a lot of different games get recognized. But for this to be the only award they won, shocking to us and you guys, the voters out there, you were the ones who decided on this. Job well done.
It's almost like you don't listen to us or something.
I mean, probably for the best.
I really can't say enough good things about this. This game, I really think saved this year for me. It was one of the first games after Saints and Sinners came out, like the rest of the year, we got tons and tons more games. But up until then, we had Shadow Legend, we had Separation. We had The Room VR Dark Matter, but that's like those three across the span of 6-7 months. And this game was just such a big deal. And I still think it's one of the best VR games ever made at this point, because it's one of the first games that came out where we didn't have to be like, guys, like the community didn't have to be like, you guys forgot to do this. Oh, there's click turning, there's blinders, there's, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? It's like, no, this game was perfect when it came out. And yeah, just really, really well-deserved win. Congrats, guys.
100%.
We've got an interesting request from the chat. Brian, this one's for you. Shiva Playing Video Games says, Brian should live forever. Long live Brian.
I don't know if that's so much a request.
Can you do that for us? Or, I mean,
Brian is actually a 2,000-year-old vampire, so he's.
That's why he looks that way at his age.
He got up for the award show. It was like, it is time.
Poor Tornado is always trying to open the vertical blinds, being like, please, sunlight, please. There's got to be something out there. So fantastic. That was...
Yep, and I'm really, really looking forward to that PS5 patch. And whatever else they might be working on that was hinted from the IGN video.
For sure. And a great acceptance speech from Peter Ackman. Thank you so much. Moving on to another reveal. This is new footage for an upcoming an upcoming game from. I actually had to change gears real quick because I thought I was going in one direction, thought it was a different game, and then the award show continued playing, and I was like, oh wait, no, that didn't happen yet. This was the reveal for Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife. Obviously, Upload VR beat us to the punch by a couple of days by showing off some new footage in their 5 reasons, which you should totally watch. 5 reasons to play Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife. And there was a part of me that was like, did they get something cooler than we did? And the answer is no, because we got footage of the Shadow, and you get to really hear his voice. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like something about this trailer gave me the chills, and I think it was the sound design in this. And so this is one of those games that I'm so looking forward to putting on the headphones, playing in the dark in VR, and just being and not even streaming it the first time I play it, because I want to really feel the sense of solitude and feel those chills when I'm inside Barclay Manor for the first time. I'm so excited about this game.
Me too. I feel like to get something as large as a reveal as this, like that seems like a main character in the game. The Shadow is sort of part of the core plot of the game, right? Mm-hmm. But we didn't know about that until now, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of wrinkles to uncover as we get closer to the game. Like, I feel like there's a lot more here than you can tell is going on from the original gameplay trailer. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Yeah,
it looks absolutely fantastic. Fast Travel Games has always had this mantra of like, we don't want to just make VR games. We want to be like one of the best developers. And I think considering that their first game was Apex Construct, it's pretty promising, man. I think these guys have a bright future. They're incredibly talented over there at some of the things they do. And man, I really can't wait to play this one either. I love the concept. I love the World of Darkness setting, and just so many things to like about this.
Yeah, I just hope there's no keyboards you have to type on.
Yeah.
They fixed that. They patched that, and it's actually fine now.
Yeah, it made it much easier to type. Here are words to type instead of letters to type. Yeah. So definitely looking forward to that one. That's another early 2021 title. We don't have a more narrow release window than that, but man, this is one of the games that makes early 2021 look very, very exciting. This was something I was really happy about, was that as I was editing the award show, as I was putting all this together, as I was talking to all these developers over the course of the last month, I kept thinking to myself, this, like, next year, let's ignore the fact that we're hoping PlayStation VR 2 gets announced. PlayStation VR 1 has such a bright future for the next 365 days that, like, I kind of am okay not hearing about PSVR 2 right now, because I'm so excited about all of this stuff. So I hope that feeling was conveyed throughout the course of the show for all of you guys too. For anyone who's like, doom and gloom, oh my god, PSVR 2, Sony's abandoning whatever. No, we have such a promising future, at least for the next year, and I can't wait to be on that journey with you guys.
Who disagrees with you? Greg Miller disagrees with you because he presented the next award. Man, what a guy this guy is, man. I can't say enough great things about Greg, and again with the whole crew over at Kind of Funny Games, and presenting the most anticipated PSVR game. Mm-hmm. And this was between Hitman 3, I think Sniper Elite VR.
Yep.
Do Not Open.
Wraith
I'm doing this all by memory.
Afterlife.
Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife. And there was one more, maybe?
Oh, crap. Was there? I wasn't thinking.
Maybe. There's always 5 in every category.
The list is blank.
Yeah, I wasn't counting. Here, let me fast forward again. Do Not Open, Sniper Elite, Wraith, Hitman 3, After the Fall. Yes.
After the Fall, thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah, the next zombie shooter from Vertigo Games. And before we even talk about who won, Greg Miller, 2 years in a row doing this stuff for us. He's a busy guy. Yeah. He's got plenty to do. I mean, like, Kind of Funny is like just this ginormous thing that's happening, and like the fact that he finds time to do this for us so willingly. I send an email. He goes, yes, let's do it. Done. I'm like, amazing guy. And there would not be a Without Parole without Greg Miller. I'm just going to make it as clear and simple as that. Without Podcast Beyond used to be something that, like, fucking, when I was in the worst of days, would keep me going. Every Tuesday I was like, that was sometimes the only bright spot in my life was waiting for the next Tuesday to roll around. This was before even the video, before they switched over to video. This was an MP3 that you would download and listen on your iPod or whatever. And like that was my shining bright light every week that I was looking forward to. And all I could think is, one day I hope that I can create something that like makes someone else out there in the world like as excited for an event, for a day, for something as this makes me excited for. Like, and I never would have expected that. Without Parole would have been a thing all those years ago, but like again, would not have existed without Greg Miller.
Yeah, and I feel like you can tell their pardon me, sorry, I'm choked up. Their community is so like positive and supportive, and you can tell that springs from them as people. Like the fact that they were so gracious to just be like, oh yeah, we're a huge, YouTube channel. Yeah, we'll give you whatever, no problem. Here it is. I feel like they want to help bring everyone up along with them. They have this platform, but like there is something very kind about the Kind of Funny community. And I feel like that I like to think that we've got a similar thing going with our community here, because like, there's the best friends and then there's the game cats. And I feel like you guys are just as awesome. And hopefully we give off that sort of, sense of a good place to be and hang out as a community.
Non-toxic community.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love in his overlap, like Rob Cordery, who won the PlayStation 5 giveaway. Right. When I went over to investigate what he was all about, they're right there in his profile, Kind of Funny best friend, and I was like, yeah, wow. I'm like, the PlayStation gods have shined down upon us and chosen a perfect winner for this console. And by the way, I don't think he's gotten the console yet. I think the mail is running so late because of COVID. It's literally a whole week behind. It was supposed to be there Monday, and it might, if we're lucky, be there tomorrow, if we're lucky.
I don't mean to get political, but it's not COVID. It's because Trump dismantled the USPS in order to
and we have to move on. All right. So the winner of this award was Hitman 3. Dude, I mean, how as great as all of these games look, how can you compete with Hitman 3? Like, this is the big AAA game of next year. You can't compete with this. So as awesome as the rest of these games look, there was not a chance. I'm actually curious to check out the voting on this one. Let me see if I can bring that up for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Room VR Dark Matter took 75% of the votes, so that was a landslide.
Okay.
Best genre defined Shadow Legends took 62% of the votes, a landslide. Memorable art design was pretty close. Until You Fall was 93 votes, 36%. In second place was Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets with 73 votes. There's only 20 votes difference.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Best VR Creations, Tectonic took it with 35%. Hypercycle Arena with 23%. Most anticipated, here we go. Hitman 3 took 51% of the votes with 123 votes. Second place, Sniper Elite VR with 75 votes, 31%. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight.
Yeah. I'll be honest here. I voted for Sniper Elite VR, but I am very much anticipating Hitman 3 as well. I
think I voted for After the Fall.
We don't have a long time to wait for this one. Hitman 3 comes out next month. Really, really excited to get my hands on it, see what it's all about. I haven't played a Hitman 3 since the original on PC. I haven't played a Hitman since the original on PC, and I know this is going to bring a lot of people. A lot of people are excited about this one and going to bring a lot of new people into VR that are fans of the series, like with a lot of games that do. So be interesting to see as we get more info and see more on this one.
Yeah, I think Sniper Elite is one of those ones where it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it, but Hitman 3 is actually sort of a gateway into a trilogy of VR Hitman games, which is really exciting because like you get the first and second one, and people who have been longtime fans get the ability to go back and re-experience these things they already played in Hitman 1 and 2 in VR. And I think that that's a really cool like bonus feature. That's not even really a bonus feature. It's a major feature, but it's hard to beat that sort of proposition. That's pretty exciting. So
we followed up the most anticipated game with new footage, and actually this is the very first footage shown from the PSVR version of Solaris Off-World Combat. Video hosted by Frank, PSVR.
Come on!
Right? I love seeing the chat exploded when he came on,
Real.
and they're like, Frankie
Right?
boy. It was something pretty nostalgic about that. It was fun.
Dude, and just like Polish Paul, it's like everyone thought there was like this rivalry between Without Parole and Frank. Right. It was like, Jesus, like it never got old. People thought they had to choose sides.
People need drama. Like, they need drama in their lives, Brian.
I was like, who cares, man? Who cares? Like, Frank's an awesome dude, and I got to be honest. When the second I opened this footage, when they sent me the Dropbox link and I downloaded it and I checked it, I was like, I can't wait to see this. Again, fantastic production values, right? But then I saw Frank right away, and it was just a blast from the past, and I smiled so wide from ear to ear, and just being like, oh man, it was like seeing an old friend or something. So thank you guys at First Contact for sending along this footage. Solaris is looking pretty damn good, and they're saying all the right things. They're saying things like dedicated servers, which I know is like super important for all you firewall players out there. So good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I love how he was playing and he's wearing a mask too. Right? I got a good laugh from that. Where he's got I've never seen anyone with a VR headset and a mask on. It's too funny.
Nope. But the footage is looking good, guys, and I don't know what the full story is about this game on other platforms, but I think that the heart and soul of First Contact's community are the firewall players, and they are PlayStation VR gamers. And so I think if this game hasn't had a fair shake in other places, I think it'll finally get a fair shake when it comes to our console.
Absolutely. Well, that brings us to the final award, and it was presented by someone you may know named Brian Paul, who loves you all.
Yeah, it was like, somebody so better than this. Like you just had Greg Miller, and now you got Brian Paul on here.
I didn't even have someone else introduce me. I was like, it was last minute. I was recording. I was like, in presenting the award for best for game of the year. I was like, oh no, it's me, Brian Paul. I'm like, I guess I'll play this straight. Like I don't know how to do this. I should have called one of you guys and had you introduce me. But
True.
But again, it's like I didn't even set up my camera. This was very much like we need to get this done because all the pieces are coming together at the absolute last second for the show. And so unfortunately, I just had to use the same webcam that I'm using right now for everything. And I was like, man, for a show, a Without Parole show, everyone else on the show totally showed us up as far as camera quality is concerned. Every single other presenter killed it in terms of camera quality.
Camouflage sold a lot of copies of Iron Man VR because the camera quality on that one was incredible.
That was incredible.
The depth of field. That was a nice camera that man used.
Yeah. So I had to bring up the list here, but we had Marvel's Iron Man VR, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, Star Wars Squadrons, Dreams, and Pistol Whip. Yeah. And there was 1,000 votes. And man, I mean, honestly, I'm so proud of this category. I think all of these games were absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I really think this is one of the best years for PSVR, and I think it showed with all of the nominees tonight. And that's why I said, like in when I was presenting my award, I was like, thank you to everybody, because I really feel like we all win because of all the effort and everyone coming together, the communities, the just everything all together. And of course the games, it always comes down to the games. And this was the ultimate one. And Marvel's Iron Man VR was the big winner of this show.
Now I think this was
8% of the votes.
This was the big upset too, because while it had the most votes, everybody in chat was like, wait, it's not Saints and Sinners? What the hell?
Right?
Like, I think a lot of people expected something different. And this is the thing, when you open it up to sort of the general public and people reshare and do that stuff, it's sort of like some games didn't get, I think, the amount of clout that they should have in this voting.
Well, I think you get...
Not that Iron Man is awesome. I mean, I like Iron Man a lot. But I just was surprised, I guess. And I think you guys were too, probably.
Yeah, no, for sure. When you start this and you go, oh man, Saints and Sinners is nominated for 3 categories, it's going to win 3 categories. Done. You don't even think twice about it, And but then, like you said, you open it up to the world and you start getting opinions that are, maybe a little more varied, and that's fantastic. And I love to see that it wasn't super close. Like there was no question about it. 48% of the votes, 504 votes went to Marvel's Iron Man VR. That was you guys out there. Second place, 310 votes, 30% of the votes was Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. Fantastic games. You know, I mean, I think a lot of this comes down to what are you looking for in a game, and right. that's gonna be different for everybody. And man, the feeling of being Iron Man, the feeling of being Tony Stark, flying around and shooting, it's like, you know, as cool as VR games are, that's not something that I've experienced before. The second I pulled those triggers and went, I was like, yep,
yes,
I'm all about this.
I think at this point in time, Marvel is such a huge, you know, thing. It's a juggernaut. And so if you get a game from that franchise, from that series, like, it's exciting to a lot of people. Like, a new Spider-Man game is exciting to a lot of people. And so I think that's the same kind of thing where, you know, whether or not Saints and Sinners better game or not, it's like
totally an opinion.
What appeals to the most people. And obviously Iron Man has a really big pull in terms of just like the idea of, you know, if I'd never played VR and somebody said, oh, you can do Iron Man stuff in VR and you can move your hands around, like, I'd be intrigued. I'd certainly be intrigued.
I mean, it's you know, there's this game was awesome, man. And the action, the flying around, all the different tech you had, the story with Tony Stark. There was so much to love about this game, and yeah, I mean, this is one of those experiences that so many people would want. And man, there's not a lot of Iron Man games that I could think of in the long history of Marvel's video games.
Spider-Man games than there are Iron Man games.
Yeah, Spider-Man is definitely a huge thing. But yeah, and I gotta say, you know, Ryan Payton, the director of this, his speech, I absolutely loved his speech, his acceptance speech. He's just such a class act, and the way he gave that speech, and the whole team over there deserves this, and it's just awesome, man. It's really it's just so much fun.
Yeah, somehow watching that, he humbled me. He was so humble. He was incredible. Really, really gracious to kind of shout out the other developers and say, hey, you know, we won, but everybody in this category totally deserves this thing. Absolutely. And I think we all feel that way. But as we have said, there can only be one.
Absolutely. I know. We wish we could just pick everybody.
Real quick, I'm going to pick one person out of chat as the first tip that we got recently. et.2k9.now $10 tip says, and the award for best VR show goes to PSVR without Parole.
Oh man, thank you so much, man. I didn't expect this at all. Like, I want to thank my friends and my family, mostly
do the Sean Murray reaction, be like,
right?
No.
But
sorry, guys, I'm a bit lit right now.
But I especially want to thank the one person that made it made this all doable. It wouldn't have happened without you. And that, of course, is Tornado. Tornado, man, my cat is with me 24/7. Also, Dave and AJ, you guys are awesome too. Thank you so much.
Tornado too. Tornado's my rock.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Snack Maple, please. Snack Minneapolis. Snack Miles per Ellisecond.
Impulse.
Impulse is a great one too. Snack Impulse. $20 donation.
Snacks, please.
Please. Fantastic work on the show, Brian. We are lucky for everything you guys do. Such a great community, especially this year. Cheers to a healthy but still pizza heavy. Cheers to a healthy but still pizza heavy. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Get those artichoke hearts on your pizza.
Dude, I'm ordering a pizza tonight.
Get the pepperoni. Get the artichoke hearts.
I deserve it, man.
The last thing I need is a pizza, but I'm absolutely getting a pizza tonight. That is for sure.
I mean, the whole thing with pizza, it's like the last thing you need, but the first thing you want.
All the time. Yep.
Yeah.
So one more thing about this. Not only the launch of Iron Man and stuff, and bringing it through really trying times. You know, they were in one of the hot spots and had to deal with a lot. They were split up, and they also continued to update. They did an update that increased some of the performance of the game. That not only increased the performance but also added more content to it, which I thought was really cool. And I'll be really interested to see if they have any other plans for this game moving forward. I'd be really excited to see anything on that. But yeah, just tons of hard work and effort that went into this game that was really awesome. And yeah, you know, we've could go into really detail about each one of these nominees, why we think they could have won. They all had something really, really awesome to offer here.
For sure. And so again, thank you, Ryan Payton, the whole team at Camouflage. These acceptance videos are fantastic. Yeah, as you said, AJ, very, very humble dude, and just awesome, awesome way to end the show. Although that wasn't the end of the show, now was it?
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
No, we had one final reveal for a new game. Again, I can't stress this enough. This feels like a Without Parole show because there's so goddamn much horror in it. Had nothing to do with me other than me reaching out to 300 developers, and these are the people who got back to me. And man, how cool does Hinge look?
Oh my God. As soon as I saw that title screen, I was like, now I know what to call it so I can be excited. Because everything I saw before that was just like, yeah, this is good.
It looked really polished and looked
quite excited.
The part with like all the arms coming out of it looks like it's got the perfect kind of jump scares and stuff that I really, really like, and the kind of whatever it is, a demon, something haunting presence. It looked really, really good.
It does have the same name as the Facebook dating app, but I imagine that's pretty terrifying in 2020 as well.
I don't know what that is. That's funny. I do want to say, if anybody has played Hinge on PC, I did a look over at the Steam page, and it's like mostly negative reviews. But I want to make sure that people see that most of what the problems seem to be seem technical. Not really about the game. It's about like the performance, and of course that's sort of something we don't have to worry too much about as PSVR gamers, console gamers. We know that Sony's QA. This is something that we know about, that they're going to make sure they hit the proper frame rates, that it's playable, everything works. This was basically the topic of discussion on a previous viewer takeover about what Sony's certification process does for VR, which is slightly different than what it does for a flat screen game. We know it's going to be hitting 60 FPS for the most part. So it'll be interesting to see how this compares to its PC brethren.
It's funny to think about the fact that probably Along Together had a more rigorous Sony QA process than Cyberpunk 2077. Like, I don't know. It just seems like, yeah, as far as VR stuff goes, they really do put it through the paces and make sure that it runs at a reasonable frame rate, that it doesn't make you sick. And yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing you can say really positively about Sony that they've been doing over the years, is like, it's a hassle for developers, but it's worth it for us, I think. So
yeah. And this is another Q1 game. So
Q1, baby.
Dude, plenty of horror games on the way, plenty of horror updates for games. Oh my god, I'm just so excited. We had such a crappy effing year for horror games on PlayStation VR. I feel like developers are making it up to me personally big time as soon as they possibly can in 2021. So Q1, and then the other one was April. That was Summoner VR coming in April. So this is really good stuff. I did miss a tip real quick. I want to make sure that we get Zalan Maru, a name we don't hear nearly as often as we should. Love you. $15 donation saying, keep up the great work, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, and then that brought the show to a close, man. Like I said, what a year. What a year. Final thoughts on this year in terms of PSVR?
I mean, it was
big show, big screen. Loved it. I don't know. It was great. No,
were you doing a box quote?
No, that's a Tom Cruise joke. Oh. But you have to be on Twitter to get it. AJ's on Twitter.
Okay. AJ is on Twitter.
Did you guys hear my question?
Yeah.
No, I'm just
trying to transition into something, but it was.
But no. Oh man, real quick, David Moore with the $49.99 donation said, "Wow, Brian, AJ, and Dave, that was truly amazing. Brian, all I have to say is what an accomplishment with the show this year. You probably want to start planning now that to have any hope of outdoing yourself for next year. Damn right, man. I mean, this was your best show yet, Brian. I cannot thank you enough for all the effort, to you, to Perp Games for helping sponsor the show, to Dave, to all everybody who sent in their acceptance speeches, to everybody who sent in their presentation, to everybody who voted, to everybody who just watched and stuff. Also sent reveals and new reveals and updates to all the developers out there, man. You keep this thing going. I think VR, VR has a really fun and interesting adventure. This was, of course, been the first generation. And this is, to me, one of the biggest highlight years in terms of progress in terms of the software. I really think this was one of the most progressive years in terms of game design and just exploring and getting things right. I feel like a lot of things developers got right this year, and brought us some amazing games and experience. And I really can't thank each and every one of you guys so much. It's a privilege to be doing what I do. I feel like I don't deserve to be here. It's amazing.
Oh, you do. You're great. But I want to say David Moore kind of took the words out of my mouth and put them a lot better than I did. I was making a dumb Tom Cruise joke, but really, Brian, yeah, I think everybody here appreciates the effort you put into this, and just like the scope of this thing, the excitement behind it. Like, I'm on the channel, and I've said this before, but I'm on the channel, and I was still excited to see what was going to happen. And I was like, Brian, don't tell me what's going to happen. I don't want to know. And that's the sort of thing where, it's easy to get complacent or aloof about something that you're so involved in. But like, I was excited as everybody in the crowd. And so just great work, man. Really good show.
Thank you. When I did the 2018 award show, I told you guys this before we dropped into this wrap up. I did the 2018 award show. I was like, damn, that was a lot of work. That might be like I'm a graphic designer by trade, but like I fell out of that after college, and I spent a lot of time like working at a plumbing supply company. That was like the most, I worked a subdivision at Michelin for a small period of time in Ottawa, but like such a small part of my life has actually been doing graphic design stuff and putting something like this together. I've been most of my life I've been waiting tables, and so when I did the 2018 show. It was like holy crap, man! Like I feel like I just did something really special, and it was like a shit ton of work. Sirens on my end, perfect timing, and I was like, oh man, like that was so much work. I don't know if I can do it again next year. And then 2019 rolled around, and I was like, okay, let's like really step up our game and see who we can get, like who is willing to like be part of like this big event on a very very small channel. And I was shocked at who responded. And then I remember I was on the phone with AJ like 3 days before the show was supposed to air. And I was like, dude, what's cool about other award shows? Game reveals. I was like, do you think it's and you go like, yeah, dude, go for it. And I was like, oh man, I should totally try to get game reveals or like, or previews or teasers or something. And I reached out to a ton of people and I got back what I got back. And it was an interesting assortment of like, small indie games that were very cool. And it was just, and just seeing like that, that again, last year I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to do anything better than that. That was like the highlight of my life. It was the thing that my whole life had been leading up to, and so I just want you guys to know that are watching that like this isn't a small event for me. This is the biggest event not only of my year, but every single award show is the biggest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And so the 2020 award show that you just watched is the biggest thing I've ever done in my entire life. So thank you for being there for it. I'm gonna cry.
Oh yeah, man.
All right, let's get out of here before I really start crying. The water, the tears are about to flow, and I don't want to do that on camera. So thank you to everybody who hung out and watched today, watched it live, did this with us. I would not be here without you guys. I wouldn't be even doing this if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you all for being part of our community. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Tornado. We appreciate all of you. We love you all. I'm going to cue the cat because we need to end this.
Cue the cat.
Oh, don't cue the cat. I just put on my cool jacket.
Because I want to say thank you so much to Deathly, the Death Cat, Snack, and Pulse. Stay warm, the Game Cat, Decepticon. Oh yeah, Silent Evil 999, Quarterstone City 777, Bogeyman Productions, thank you so much, man. Oak 3D, thank you so much. Simon C, The Triangulator, my dude. Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat, Pass Me a Ninja Slice. Baggio 10, Perfected Insanity. Hibsy the Game Cat, our local news scoop. Diz, so good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out. Rody, thank you, man. Meow Meow, the Gamer Cat, thank you. Delirium Drew VR, my dude, my other dude, Hack. It's lit in here. Jason Ewing, Geisart, fist bump to you. David Moore, thank you so much for all you do, man. Roman Plays. Who else we got? I don't want to leave anyone hanging. I could do this all day. Bubblegum. We're not out of bubblegum, guys. We're not out of bubblegum.
You know what I want? When you say you could do this all day, I'd love to see like a 12-hour charity live stream where you just read the names of everyone in chat and don't do anything else.
RG Boy Brown, hard to get. Et.2k9.now. Matt Margenovich. Aceville the Attack Cat. Distracted Game Cat. Who else we got here? I know there's more of you guys. I saw so many. Hugh Guyver, shout out to your cousin Mac as well. Scott Jessico, Peace and Harry Fella, the PSVR Game Cat for life. Todd, the Father Mucking Game Cat. Man, thank you guys so much. Aren't Wonder Rob, Nick Mulo, Mark Pringles Leaf, Benjamin. Thank you. Love y'all. You guys are the best.
All right, you guys, don't expect any videos on the channel for at least 3 more weeks.
Let this man have a vacation.
I'm gonna take tonight off and then and hopefully get back to work tomorrow. I